Plea TV. I've heard asked my first question to do with when I'm going to see them being charged. And my concern is the mode of operation by the current Attorney General, which is your office. Many have argued that why come have to tell us all this when we can just go to court and then come and tell us what they have been charged with, and then we can all have confidence that we are really committed to dealing with this matter. That if you can respond to that for us, thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions, please? All right, please step forward. Anybody who has a question. In the interest of time, we need to manage it. Honorable, my question is in respect of those suspects that we decided to accept their proposals and those that we do not accept. What specific criteria goes into whose offer you accept and whose offer do you reject? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Plea bargaining agreement. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Thank you for your brilliant presentation. To be very honest, if I knew you were going to talk about this program, national, I wouldn't have ordered until 25 to this place. But I came here purposely because of what was published on oral. Because we have, as an organization, made a petition to oral and wrote a letter to me. My name is Solomon Kwakumi.
Excuse me, sir. If it is not related to national service, thank you very much. So you may see us. Right, so we'll take one last.
Thank you very much. My name is Jude from CTFM GhanaWeb TV. In February this year, the President mentioned that the assets of suspects in the scandal had been frozen. In this very press briefing, he mentioned that their assets will be conclusion. I want updates. Indeed, their assets are frozen, or whether they are still just their financial flow. Thank you.
So we are telling you how we answer these questions.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your very wonderful questions. The question in relation to the member of parliament who was in the center of the investigation. There are two members of parliament who were investigated in this scandal. One was a former chief executive officer, that is the Honorable Mustafa Yusuf. And so in this case, we basically had the evidence, relating to taking as the executive officer, and then we interrogated him. In the case of the famous A+, the investigation is still ongoing, and there are talks with him with respect to the role that he will play, either in respect of providing evidence against those who try to do what is alleged to have been done, or if at the end of the day no agreement is reached, then maybe he will have to stand trial. that is where we are with respect. So the investigations are ongoing. We haven't concluded with him yet. The investigators were supposed to go to Parliament and do the interrogation in Parliament. And at the last time that they made a request, they could not do the. In terms of the timing of prosecution, there have been a number of developments that came in very late. So as late as yesterday in the evening, I met in the office with one of the principal actors who is offering, to provide us with evidence. In other words, the person wants a non-prosecution, agreement. So we've asked that the lawyer she should go, and she and the lawyers should go and then bring the proposal for us to examine and then see what what can be done. Okay, so we are thinking that in the next 2 weeks we will be able to evaluate all of those proposals, including the fact that suspect JP was rearrested. We will have to look into the account, and then in the next 2 weeks deal with all those. By the first week of July, we should be filing charges against them. Now, someone asked why the press briefing. This is a perennial question that I get all the time. The detractors of oral, that is those who do not want or are not enamored of the oral agenda, would usually say that this is persecution, a persecution of the suspects in the media, or prosecution of the suspects in the media. Now, the United States of America is one of the world's oldest democracy. Okay, and U.S. prosecutors, district attorneys, or even the Attorney General of the United States of America, do investigations. They brief the press on their findings. They file the charges and come out of the courtroom. There is nothing absolutely. So those who think that accounting to the people, if you look at the meaning of the word accountability simply means to explain one's actions. So we have a duty to account to the people of this country. And so when I'm taking prosecutorial decisions, I need to account to the people of our country for the decision. So this is the whole essence of the exercise, and especially within the context of oral. We don't want any situation where we file charges and then we are being told that we have just decided to persecute people because of their political leanings. All I have done, I have not mentioned or connected any political party to the actions of the people that I arrest. Okay, so the idea of doing this is not in order to make any political party look bad or any faction in our Ghanaian politics look bad. What we are doing is to account, and it doesn't matter how many times it is said. Account to the people of this country through the press briefings that the press engagements that we do from time to time. Then, what are the criteria for an MP? And then somebody asked, what is the difference between an MP, a non-prosecution agreement, and a plea bargain? A non-prosecution agreement is an aspect of the plea bargain. A plea bargain is simply a negotiation between the prosecutor and a person suspected of the commission of a crime, okay, that may turn out to achieve a number of objectives. Okay, so sometimes you drop the charges in exchange for the payment of a fine or a penalty. Sometimes you drop the charges so that that person will serve, and because the person was proximate to the commission of the crime, they will have information that is compelling enough to prove your charges for you. All right. So we do plea bargaining, and one of the outcomes of a plea bargain may be an NPA, that is a non-prosecution agreement. Okay. So that means that when we sign the non-prosecution agreement, we usually would immunize that person grant that person indemnity from prosecution on certain conditions, or sometimes unconditionally. Okay, so it is guided by some considerations in the context of the prosecution itself or the criminal justice system. And by the way, in Ghana we have the Plea Bargain Act, which is an amendment to Act 10 that allows an Attorney General to enter a public. I have never, okay, and I want to repeat that, I have never approached anybody who is under prosecution now or who will be prosecuted for a plea deal. I've seen on social media allegations that I charge someone and then subsequently I'm asking the person for it. I'm always in my office to send people to come to me and then seek audience as to whether I am amenable to a plea deal. All right. At the time that the plea deal, we normally don't announce it, to the public. So that is what a plea is, and then the MPA can be a result of plea negotiations.
Sometimes all you need is something sweet to snack out that hunger. Something for your day-to-day kpakpakpa. Something sweet for the base. Something sweet when the sun is up. Something sweet for the workers.
Grandpa, I'm here, and the name is Gary, and I have a favorite.
Gary H&H Gary mix with creamer.
Sugar no low.
More creamer.
H&H 4-in-1 Gary Mix is more creamer and low in sugar. This advert is FDA approved.
So was very easy, and assets that person owned, because some of them were owned by his companies and so on. In this case, it is a bit different. That is why we have frozen the financial assets, that is accounts, but we are still doing the investigation with respect to houses, cars, and so on. I hope that makes it very clear for the person who wanted to know the difference between what His Excellency said and then what I said in my address briefing. Thank you. Please come forward. If there are any other questions, we'll take the question, after which we'll draw our questions on this session. So please identify yourself.
My name is Clement from the 4th Estate. Clement and Kumsa from the 4th Estate. But you want to find out, during our investigations, management said it's only Ghana card that's going to be used to validate the national service personnel on their platform. It appears the platform was easily manipulated and the ghost names were uploaded. We want to find out in what prosecution. Are those the developers of the platform part of which are prosecuting? Are there any other questions, please?
My name is Betty Bese. I report for the Chronicle, and I'm also a court reporter. We've seen the Dr. Okulin prosecution, how it went. It took almost 7 years. What is the timeline for this prosecution? Are we going to see it traveling or going on the road for like 7 years, or the 4 years ago when this prosecution has not ended? Because we've heard something that they are going to frustrate the case.
Please pass it on to the next.
My name is Vanessa. My name is Vanessa Boating. I'm with Ignite Media TV. So my question is, this is a lot of money, over 548 million. Are we going to recover all these monies? And it wouldn't just be that people are prosecuted and that's it, because it's a lot of money and it can do a lot of things for the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that will be it for what's the final round? Whenever I think the floor is yours. Thank you very much for the questions. The first one relates to the IT system and its vulnerability to manipulation. You are right about the IT system. From all that we have gathered, is very, vulnerable and has been manipulated to, foster the criminal enterprise that I am describing today. Now, whether the IT, the developer, is for me it's not a question that we should be asking. The reason is simply because it's a contractual, issue. Okay, so they have developed a system. If there are vulnerabilities in the system or it is deficient and is not fit for purpose, that's a contractual issue, and we can take that out. Sue them because the system was for purpose. In the course of that, we discovered, for instance, that they deliberately set related in this. Say that they are accomplices. Okay, but in the circumstances, who were the ones who manipulated the system for purposes of fostering the ones that we are concentrating now. Then the timeline for prosecution. Well, I have my procedural plan laid out. Okay, and I'm keenly aware of what defense lawyers can do. Okay, I was for many years a defense lawyer myself, so I know their tricks. All right, if you remember the famous Tagore case, the one who freed Tagore together with Kisi Ajabin from prison. So I know what to look for, what defense to look for. Any prosecution. If you picked up, thank you. That they say that they and their lawyers will frustrate me. I have plans in place to avoid frustration. Okay, I know what I am doing with my able deputy. We will make sure that this country, because if they frustrate me, they are frustrating the people of this country. And as one of the questioners, said, 548 million is a lot of money. In fact, the president is thinking of a Accra-Kumasi expressway that will make it possible for commuters to travel within an hour to Kumasi. That 548 million could have built that expressway. So yes, it is a lot of money, and that is why we are going to take the prosecution really very seriously. Look, if you have had 8 million Ghana cedis lodged into your account from public funds, you frustrate the prosecutor, how are you going to do that? Supposing he didn't know, that's a different matter altogether. Or if you have your companies and public monies are flowing through your companies, and you cannot tell the prosecutor why those monies were being transferred to your company and they were being used for private purposes, and you say you frustrate the prosecutor. Well, they should come with all the technicalities in the world. We are waiting for them. We are waiting for them in the courtroom. This is going to be a different ball game altogether. I'm not bragging, but it's going to be a different ball game altogether. So we will do our best, and thereafter, As for recovery, it's an integral part of our strategy. Recovery is an integral part of our strategy. All right. The meaning of oral is Operation Recover All Loot. And so once we institute a prosecution in the context of oral, recovery is an integral part. I mean, let's leave any stone unturned. Can we recover everything? We may not be able to recover everything, but we will certainly recover funds for this republic and for public use. So I thank you very much. God bless all of you, and express briefing. Please resume your seats.
Joe. I'm fixing the mic. How's it? How are you? The mic is also on the car. Can you see me now?
Dale, come.
After this fufu and pepper soup, I go score goals like them the dash points.
Kibo 100% natural hot pepper. Good